LeBron may be happy with himself, but his team, not so much.
Those yoga pants?
Why you focus on all the wrong details? This man living his best life.
Okay.
Problem is the Cavs,
like the no pants stands?
they've been watching every
stand?
other contender get better while they can't even get a GM. Man got rhythm. Source tells USA Today that LeBron James is concerned and frustrated about the Cavaliers' offseason. The source also tells ESPN that water is, in fact, wet.
Right.
Rachel, like going back to the first loss in the finals, Jamel and I talked about this the next day. LeBron has never taken losing lying down.
No.
And the fact that they don't even have anybody to make these moves is one thing. Not being closer to the Warriors, this is not something that could possibly sit well with him. The nugget in this USA Today article that stood out was that the front office transition took place a day that they were close to getting Jimmy Butler. Whether that's true or not, if LeBron believes it, that's problematic.
Yeah, no, they were David Griffin that day, Monday, in his office was working on the Butler deal and working on a Paul George deal. And the fact that it was 6:30 p.m. is when this went down with the owner. I mean, Dan Gilbert, that is a crazy change to make. The week of free agency, the week of the draft, I mean, doing all of this stuff at this time. And look, I sat with Dan Gilbert at Summer League. He has a lot of confidence in Kobe Altman, 34 years old, running the front office right now. He hasn't certainly X'd out the idea of hiring another general manager. Kobe is great. He's a smart guy. But there is a reason when we talk about rookies, and you can be a rookie in the GM category, you can be a rookie as a player. We all think Lonzo's great. We think Markelle Fultz is going to be a great player. I wouldn't put them in to win a championship right now.
Right.
And that is what LeBron James is trying to do, is win a championship right now. And by the way, whoever does that for Cleveland, they're playing with a little bit of a broken deck. They don't have picks, right? It's hard to make a trade. They got a lot of big salaries. They got a lot of veteran players nobody wants. Whoever runs that front office is in an incredibly difficult position. And it's not surprising, as you say, that LeBron is frustrated that is not a more experienced guy who can kind of pull those strings a little bit better.
We talked about this a lot when he was signing those 1+1 deals, like keeping the leverage over Dan Gilbert's head that, hey, I could leave if you don't do right. Well, no GM in place. And here's the other one I wanted to point out before you took it. Jamal Crawford. Wanted to get Jamal Crawford. They offered the minimum, surprise, surprise, lowball somebody when they had the taxpayer mid-level available. That's another thing to
look, LeBron's mindset is show me, don't owe me, right? Okay, and so I remember years ago when you and I had this conversation about whether or not he could leave Cleveland again. And that is because—
What I say at the time?
You said,
I said no.
You're like, no way, it never happened. All right, and so the reason why he put himself in this position is to not only just maintain leverage, is that I think that LeBron honestly always wants to be able to survey the league, find out what's the best situation. He may have emotional connections to Cleveland and Akron. The work that he's doing there, he can do from somewhere else, as he has already proven.
But this is all, by the way, I think a lot of people point to this and say, see, he's trying to leave. I think he's trying to stay.
Right.
I
agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Would be to stay in Cleveland.
That
he has everything set up there. I think that his relationship with his foundation, that is real.
So don't worry about the Miami speculation.
No, well,
don't worry about that.
About a point. This is my point. All this stuff is not him trying to leave.
Right.
It is him trying to get to have happen what he needs to stay. Because if he does nothing, that's not happening. And then he may be forced to leave. If he needles them and needles them and needles them, and the fan base gets riled up about, oh, he may leave again, and the front office and Dan Gilbert start to feel pressure, then what he needs to stay might happen. That's what this is to me. This is a campaign to stay.
Going back to the relationship analogy, it's like when you got it going on, you shouldn't have to beg nobody to keep you. Like, you're LeBron James. What's understood need not be said. So why you don't have to put pictures out to let them know that you're about
From your words, my friend. But you know what? I mean, look. I mean, this is like a relationship is a great analogy, right? And we've seen this,
right? Photos of him and the ex.
We all have friends, right? I was going to say we all have friends who have done that. And
I just ran into him. That's all it was. I just happened to be in the neighborhood.
You better appreciate me. I mean, look, that is.
Wait, do that again.
No,
hit that again.
That once.
No, you got it twice. I got it twice. You
got LeBron out here like he's waiting to exhale.
Sassy Rachel just showed up.